Hey, Amber, hello.
Didn't you have it on your shoulder last year when you did it?
You get one of the GoPros with it.
You were like the RoboCop thing last year, was, I remember.
We're talking to Jack Jacobs here at Honeywell. You guys actually having a really good show, it seems. Some nice announcements coming out. Tell us where you're at in terms of attracting customers to the Global Xpress service that's going to obviously operate over your terminal units.
Right, so we recently announced, obviously with Air China, we're having some flight trials with them, and they've been a long-time L-band customer for us, so they're very interested in doing that. We're working with Airbus, obviously, and Thales on the A350. That's full speed ahead. And we just signed the Boeing Phase 2 TSA for line fit with them on 787 and 777.
Yeah.
So those are going forward fast. So a lot of interest coming to get both line fit and airlines.
I was going to say, on the line fit side, when will the aircraft officially start rolling off the line with the provisioning?
With the provisioning?
I think in the near term.
Yeah, probably sometime next year.
Right.
I'm thinking.
Right. And then as soon as the service becomes available, then the likes of an On Air or a GoGo or a Rockwell Collins would then seek supplemental type certification. Is that correct?
That's
how
correct.
It's all rolling?
After we do TSA Phase 2, they would have like a Phase 2.5 or something like that, where they would integrate the service and certify all that.
That's got to be kind of nice that you guys don't have to worry about the STC process.
Well, we still have to worry about all the STC for everything else.
Sure.
That's not trivial. We have to certify everything to Bird Strike for all of our radomes.
Okay.
We have to certify all of that.
And then that's delivered, and then the likes of an On Air then needs to just get the entire package then.
In terms of working with the service,
yes,
and the linking, and that the QoS and everything works, we still have to make sure the hardware works for all those specifications. So it's a pretty big undertaking.
That is a big undertaking. So every player is really doing its part. There's right.
That's right.
Interesting. Okay. So and by the time this video hits, we'll also know that Air Canada has agreed to trial
Correct.
Global Xpress, and apparently a carrier in Italy. Is that right?
Not a carrier in Italy. Those were just some. We're going to do some testing with the F1 satellite directly.
Oh,
we're going to be in Italy because we're going to be below the satellite. Basically.
Perfect.
Take a ground terminal and do some link tests.
Okay. Will those be the first tests?
Those will be the first tests with our GX hardware to make sure we can actually close the link and make sure it actually works.
Okay, very, very interesting. And what are you seeing in terms of interest level for GX right now?
Interest levels growing every single day, where people see they see the need for the global coverage, they see the need for seamless handoff without any issues, and they see the benefit of having one system do all of that for them. So.
Right, and of course now there's the 3 service distribution partners. Rockwell Collins being just announced yesterday, in addition to GoGo and On Air previously. You're going to be working with all of them. Do you think that any one of them is better positioned to take a larger market share than the other 2?
Well, all of them have history with their different customers from the past.
Right.
And I always find these things with services are very relationship oriented. If you've been a great On Air relationship customer forever, you probably want to keep with On Air. If you've known Rockwell Collins forever, that's fine too. For us, we want to have the best hardware for anyone to take and use and make sure it works great for them, so we'll help them all.
Right. And also, we're starting to see a lot of interest in using the Inmarsat Switch broadband solution as it is poised to gain safety services approval. I know it's still got some time, but there's some trials going on. To dedicate that pipe to pure cockpit comms and also safety services and even in the wake of MH370, potentially even some creative streaming of positioning data, etc. Are you kind of seeing the market shift out whereby you'll have airlines that will go with the Swift broadband for those types of really crucial, critical functionality, and then dedicate GX really to the cabin?
I think you will see GX being much a broadband passenger offering, except for maybe those systems where you need lots and lots of data, like if you want to send weather data, you need a really large pipe, you may have to use it for that.
Okay.
But other than that, if you're tracking or you're doing maintenance data for brakes or APUs or avionics, why wouldn't you use L-band, which will have plenty of pipe capacity, versus GX is hopefully going to fill up real fast with a lot of passenger use.
Of course, one of the great kind of stories that you guys are able to tell is that you are for all intents and purposes, completely on track with this program, right?
Running completely on track. Yes, no.
That's shocking. Surely.
Knock on glass here, but
Surely.
there's ups and downs with certain certain suppliers. No one's ever perfect, but when you manage the whole program, every development program ups and downs, but so far things are going well.
How is the antenna for the commercial space performing? And then can you give us an update on when we're going to start seeing that flying on your 757 test bed?
Yeah, so the antenna test we've done with our ground test is actually showing a few dB actually better than what we predicted. So everything's been better than the initial analysis, was great. Flight tests for 757 don't start till later this year, early next year when we'll actually finish it. All the qual starts in a month. We got to get through the whole qual program first on the ground, and then we'll start installing.
Right, very interesting, very interesting. And obviously there is still a lot of debate about the benefits of KU versus KA, and of course even just yesterday GoGo announcing a completely unique and original
2KU.
2KU. Hey, what's better than 1, 2?
Sure.
What are you seeing in that regard? Do you feel like well, I guess a lot of airlines are deciding to do KU now. Do you think your opportunities will kind of grow as more new aircraft come online? Is that what you're looking at versus retrofit? What do you think?
I think people are actually delaying some of their decisions because they think KA is actually reality now. As we get closer and you see real hardware sitting here that we've actually tested, going, this thing's actually real.
Okay.
And now that we're actually getting some data, the satellite's up and F1 went up, not a problem. Obviously, if we had had it 2 years ago, that would have been even better.
Right.
But we are where we are, and I think you're going to see people continue to want KA. It's on the upswing, and KU is trying to compensate for a system that's got some issues, and so if you double something that's difficult to use in the first place, well, we'll see.
At the recent Satellite 2014 conference, Kymeta was showcasing some real advancements in what they're doing with their flat panel. Have talks with them advanced with yourselves at all?
We talk with Kymeta. We're actually part of their kind of technology advisory team because we're very supportive of any new technology in Honeywell. I mean, we're technology guys.
Sure.
And if they can find the holy grail of a completely phased array system that is small, and we're all for working with them.
Yeah.
There's some time to go. They got some work to go.
Sure.
But we're trying to be supportive.
Sure. So, but you would say, for example, say in contrast to what maybe a GoGo would have launched yesterday, that the trend is actually to go smaller, not larger. Is that?
Yeah. Well, GoGo went, I'm sure, with technology that's available that they know will kind of work, even though theirs is pretty heavy. Well, we won't go into comparisons, but let's just say a 700-pound system installing on an aircraft is probably difficult.
Right.
But you go with it'll work true in technology versus technology like a phased array which is
still
has a long TRL 4 or 5 stage versus KU's very mature.
Right. Interesting. Okay, so anything else I should be thinking about here as I cover this show?
The only other thing that we continually say is we're not just working on the passenger. We're also trying to support the maintenance operations people we're setting up with our connected aircraft initiatives. We now have launched the Smart Brake Initiative, the Smart APU Initiative, and the Connected Weather Radar Initiative.
Oh, talk to us a little bit about that.
So what we're doing is, we make a lot of mechanical systems within Honeywell. We also make a lot of avionics, and now we make a lot of connectivity. So when you put all those three together, you now can take things like for maintenance that you normally would have to have someone go out and measure with a ruler and automate that to send it over some pipe.
Right.
And so you can do forward staging and prognostics. So we're setting up those applications, that software and that connectivity to do all that. And in the APU as well, it's very important to know when it's used, when it's on, when it's off, and that's not as easy as you think to get.
Okay.
And so having some wireless connectivity on our mechanical systems that goes through is also the way we're going.
So that's interesting. And are they sensors on these systems? Is it almost like the Internet of Things kind of electric imp technology?
Kind of like that coming.
Funky.
Now, where will eventually, if you had them on every APU, you can start crowdsourcing that data and figure out how they're all used.
Yeah.
That would be the future for sure.
Okay.
Right now, it's get one to work well.
Okay.
And show we can wirelessly, without totally autonomously, send off how often was I turned on, what were the temperatures, do I need maintenance, what do I need, and do that completely autonomously.
Do you think in the coming years we're going to start seeing some very, very creative uses for IoT and aviation? I mean, are you guys starting to look down that kind of path?
Yeah, I do, because you get in this whole subject called big data, and I'm not that name is very
everyone's
nebulous.
doing big data
Everyone's
these
doing
days.
big data. I like to look at it as there's already a lot of data we have on planes.
Right.
How do you make it useful that saves people money?
Right.
Save the maintenance guys money, or make the crew's life easier for getting information. We have the data. We just got to figure out how to connect it quickly and efficiently.
Okay.
So we're really taking like the Apollo 13 approach.
Yeah.
Just make it all work easily.
Right.
Connectivity made easy.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.